Go blue, everyone. Not dead yet. Massive recruiting news and the Oregon preview coming up next on Michigan Wolverines Live.
You guys should check out the Michigan Wolverine Live. They're out here doing great things, doing great podcasts, great live shows. They're really just doing their thing, help them blow up.
And welcome back to another episode of Michigan Wolverines Live. My name is John Diadamo, and I'm going to be taking you through the next hour and a half or so. Today's Tuesday, October 29th, 2024, and it is our 172nd episode. We are broadcasting live right now on the Michigan channel at the Voice of College Football, the Oregon channel at the Voice of College Football, the Michigan Twitch channel, a couple of X accounts, and of course, on your commute tomorrow or the next day, you'll be able to listen in on Spotify, Audible, Amazon, and Apple Podcast. Go ahead and like this as you join us here. We've already got a bunch of you on the line. Hit that like button. Tell a friend. It just takes a second. And of course, send us a super chat. We primarily highlight super chats during the show. So if you have a question or a comment for myself, TJ, or our special guest, Spencer McLaughlin, then go ahead and hit that super chat. Just takes a little bit of time. Get that in there, and then you know your comment or question is going to get asked. And of course, to help us talk about Kenneth Grant and how close we are to Ohio State, is my co-host and the host of the Thursday edition of the Call-In Show, TJ Ronin in the house. Go Blue. How you doing?
What's up, buddy? Go Blue. What's up, Wolverine Nation? Let's get it. Another great show. This is going to be a good one. We have a lot to talk about, not just about beating little brother's ass and them crying about it, but a lot of recruiting news, which is going to be fantastic. It's all good too. It's all good. And then we're going to have an excellent Oregon person from Locked On that I can't wait to talk to, learn more about Oregon, and talk about that terrible spread that's going on with Vegas, and we'll figure it out, John. I don't know if they know this, but Davis Warren is back, son, and he's coming for blood. I'll tell you that.
It's Davis Warren revenge season.
Yep.
In Ann Arbor, and we do have some of our YouTube members who told us that they hit the like button defending the Natty right here. Really appreciate that, defending the Natty. We got Scumbag Steve here with the Block M. We've got Beats and Treats Ice Cream in the house. B-Dub in the house. The Shirtless Wonder is here with us today. And of course, TJ, as always, we want to encourage everybody to hit that subscribe button because we are now just 260 subscribers away from catching third base Ryan Day.
Yep, we're getting there, man. We're not too far away. Just got to keep chopping. And anyone who is unsubscribed, please subscribe to the channel. We greatly appreciate it. We're only 260 away. I mean, to be honest, man, like if the amount of people who watch this episode who are unsubscribed subscribed, we'd already be there in one episode. So shout out to all the new subscribers, and shout out to everyone who's already faithfully subscribed to the channel. We greatly appreciate it. 260 away. Let's get it. I'm already sick of seeing Ryan Day. I don't want to see Ryan Day on our channel. This is bullshit. He should be gone. We should be moving on to Miami.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. We'll keep working at it, though. Just keep working, keep chopping. We'll get there.
It's like Bill Belichick on to Cincinnati, except we're saying on to Miami. That's the mentality. But first, we got to catch third base Ryan Day here. And it just takes hitting that subscribe button, telling your friends to hit that subscribe button, and so on. Before we get to content, we already have, TJ, our first super chat of the night with Luke Spalding, who's also a YouTube member. Davis needed to be benched to give him time to look in the mirror. Maybe we should have done the same thing with Edwards?
Yeah. So this is an interesting point here. So this is actually my position also. I think, there's some people out there who felt we shouldn't have benched Warren. We should have gave him more time. We should have allowed him to progress and grow. But I personally believe him going to the bench actually made him a better player. And we're gonna find out, because obviously the sample size is one game, but we're gonna see what he really is going forward. So I think it was the best approach. Donovan Edwards, yeah, I don't see it happening though. Donovan Edwards seems to have coach's trust, I guess. So we're gonna keep seeing the Don getting carries.
Yeah, DG, the great Devin Gardner, he was saying, hey, look, he already got benched. He can't do that again, so he might as well go out and have fun with it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. But hey, maybe lessons will be learned, and we see some Benjamin Hall and Khalil Mullins tugging the rock.
There it is. Nick in the house. If the boys beat Oregon, TJ's got to smoke a blunt live. Wow. Well, Nick, we don't want to. I'm gonna leave that one where it is.
So I'm a paper plane guy. I used to smoke blunts. I'm more of a joint guy now. A little harsh on the lungs, man, but we'll see. Maybe I'll say this: they beat Oregon. It could be a wild night. We'll get to it. I'll say that.
Oh, absolutely. We're gonna get on it.
Oh hell yeah, we would, dude.
So in order to beat Oregon, we got to figure out, what do you build on from this massive rivalry win. And look, none of us on screen, including myself, thought it would happen. But Davis Warren put enough together, and Kirk Campbell put enough together in a couple of drives. There was a lot of stagnation too, and we pointed out some of everything on the post-game show. But what did you see, TJ, that you think that Michigan can build on? Some of the positive that helped Michigan, despite the fact that MSU was ahead in almost every stat in terms of passing yards, rushing yards, everything. Michigan pulled out the win anyway, and that's what you do with rivalry games.
Well, I think the biggest thing that we saw was a quarterback who's competent and can lead an offense. I mean, that's the biggest hurdle for this team right now. Outside of coaching, it's the biggest hurdle for this team right now. If we can just get consistent play, even just average quarterback play out of our quarterback, we can win games. The defense has to play better. Wink Martindale has shown flashes of improvement, but then you have these lapses from time to time. But another thing that's very encouraging to me, John, is our linebackers are starting to play at all Big Ten level. Ernest Hausman, Jay Sean Barham, they're playing elite right now. So that's encouraging. We know the defensive line's elite. We know this. Now it's just getting Will Johnson back. Word is he will be back. Word is he will play again. He's not sitting out for the year right now. Now we'll see. I don't know. I mean, it's just the word right now. So we get Will Johnson back. We have a pretty sound defense. And then if the offense can just get competent play from this quarterback, we could be talking about more than just 6 wins, more than just not making a bowl this year. Right. So let's hope the boys just keep growing and building. And we have a real big test this week. We say this every week, John, but we're going to find out a lot this week. We're going to find out if there's a mirage here, or if we actually have a quarterback who can play ball. That's going to be a big test for Warren.
Yeah. There were things that I thought were positive. I think from the offense perspective, I want to see more of the creativity. Right. I was in a debate with somebody on the boards, and talking about, well, runs up the middle, they're actually called inside zone and counter. And I'm like, yeah, well, I get that, but I don't want to see Donovan Edwards up the A gap / B gap for 1 yard twice, and then put your quarterback, who, let's face it, is still has to build up their confidence back after being on the bench for like a month. To put them into a 3rd and 9 or 3rd and 12 or 3rd and 7 situation. Davis Warren had moments where he looked really good, including in that 2-minute drill at the end of the first half, but he's still not JJ McCarthy, and he can't turn every 3rd down into a first. So how do you kind of leverage that and tap into what worked to build on that? Because you're going to need to do that if you want any hope of beating Oregon. And it does encourage me that Will Johnson's going to be back potentially, because I think you need him if you have any hope. Like if Michigan's going to win this game, you need your top 5 overall pick in the draft.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt to have a player of that caliber on one side of the defense, just locking it down. Hopefully,
Yep.
yeah, no, it's gonna be a big game for us at least. I mean, Oregon may look at this as a speed bump for them, but we'll see. I mean, we saw what Ohio State did against Nebraska. Well, you guys barely beat Ohio State, so come to play, because I'm sure the boys will be coming to play. I mean, I know they're pissed off, like they're not happy with the way the season's going. So we'll find out what they got. It'll be a good test. We'll get it's one of us is getting a reality check. I'll tell you that. Like we're gonna get a real reality check in terms of the gap between the top team in the Big Ten and where we are, or they're gonna get a reality check that maybe they're not as king of the hill as they think they are.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I'm exploring with Ben, who of course is the host of our. He's
I would too.
He's coming in
I
hot.
I would too. I would too. But we'll find out. We'll find out this weekend.
Fuck Ohio. Still love that name. Always will love that name. With the 2, go Dodgers. So supporting the Dodgers. Okay.
Hey, Shohei Ohtani. I mean, playing with a dislocated shoulder, holding like that was one of the coolest. Like I love that shit. I love that. Respect. Shout out.
Yeah, account 22 is right. Sometimes transitive property doesn't always work. And we've seen that, especially the last 2 years of college football. Because of NIL, because of the transfer portal, because of what happens, you can have a team really show up one week like Alabama beating Georgia and then lose to Vandy and Tennessee. We are seeing that, and that's not the only example of that, right? But sometimes in these last 2 years, you see all kinds of results. So quick topic on this, and then we will get to our recruiting segment that I know a lot of you are excited about. But we do have some news that after 7 seasons, I believe, or something like that, 7 years, Jack Tuttle is retiring from football after multiple injuries, including kind of an aggravating one, and a concussion and other things that were happening. He's decided to go more into the coaching realm. So obviously we wish him well on that endeavor.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was a little surprising. Like I didn't see it kind of coming. At first, like before I knew the details of the situation, I was like, oh, is he like mad he got benched, or why is he retiring right now? Like what's going on? I thought maybe he pulled like a Dylan McCaffrey situation or something, but no. 5th concussion, I believe. He just decided he didn't want to play anymore and put his body through it. And you could kind of see, he talked about his elbow injury he had. You could kind of see in the game against who did we just play? Michigan State. Or I'm sorry, not Michigan State,
the
but
one before
Illinois.
Illinois.
You could kind of see against Illinois that his arm was a little noodly, right? So it is what it is, man. I mean, good luck to him. Hopefully he can, find his path, and the coaching might be it. I mean, he's got 7 years experience. He knows a lot, and a lot of ball. So he's just now he's really like a GA almost. He's not a GA, but you know what I mean? In terms of experience and knowledge of the game and being a younger, he can connect with the players. And we know this, the quarterback room has a great relationship with all the guys, Alex Orji, Davis Warren, Tuttle, they all root and support each other. So, it should be a smooth transition for him. Wish him the best. It does suck though. But listen, you played 7 years of ball. Your body's going to wear on you, man. That's why some of these guys don't last a lot of years in the NFL, because the body just takes its toll. Absolutely. And he's literally 3 years. Playing 7 years, you're essentially 3 years pro.
Well, I do like the idea of having him coach. And he's got the experience where maybe he's it's a case of he'll be a better coach than a player, and that we've seen many examples of that. So let's see how his career goes, and we'll be watching it. But we do want to just encourage everybody to become a YouTube member here. at Michigan at the Voice of College Football, starting at just $2.99. The link is in the chat right now for ease of access. You see all these people below here. They are all paying YouTube members, and they are either paying for the Leaders and Best tier, which is the introductory tier for $2.99. You get the emojis, you get the badge. We try to shout you out here and there where we can, and you're in the ticker. Those who stay will be champions, $4.99, and that gets you access to our special members-only stream that we do every third Monday of the month. And you'll have access to that, hang out with us, call in, be a part of a show where we give a little more intel than we're allowed to give, we're able to give to everybody. So if you want to get plugged in and be one of the first to know things, go ahead, Tyrion Lannister, go ahead and join our Those Who Stay Will Be Champions. And then, of course, if you really want to step up, Connor Stallion's Espionage tier, our $9.99 level, which Keith Rebar and others are part of, and they get input into the shows, input into the content. So they get to actually help steer the ship a little when it comes to content ideas and show ideas. So at any level, we encourage you guys doing that, and it's a good time. No matter which one you do, it's a good time.
I really enjoyed the member hangout last time. I thought that was I like that format. It makes it easier for everybody to, call in if they want to, ask questions if they want to. It was good chat. Nobody was talking over, we've had some issues where there's a lot of conversation over one another. So yeah, I like the way we're doing it. It's why we're doing it. John, our members only meeting is the third Monday of every month, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can check us out there. We talk about things we can't talk about publicly. And the stream does stay up for 24 hours, but we may change that. We may just make it literally VIP only. And if you're not there, you snooze, you lose, because, those who are there get to enjoy the benefits of that stream. One thing about the Jack Tuttle thing. So when Jack Tuttle announced his retirement, the very first thing that came to my mind is I was like, I wonder how Keith is taking this. Wonder if Keith's okay right now, man. Leader of the Jack Tuttle fan club. Now his guy's retiring. So yeah, I'm sure he's all right though.
Yeah. Let's see. I don't see Keith right now in the chat, but if he comes by, we'll definitely highlight him. We have two super chats that are so timely, TJ, because they're recruiting related, and we're about to talk about that. So let's let Wolverine Casual play us into our recruiting segment here with the 20 burger. So thank you, Wolverine Casual, for becoming a member on the last post game and for donating. You rock. Go Blue. Hearing U of M is offering Bryce Underwood $5 million plus. Are we sure this is the right move? Quarterback is not a position where scouting always hits. He'll probably bring a lot of recruits too, but could also spread the money around. U of M going from 0 to 60 on NIL.
This is a loaded super chat, but for $20, we got you. Okay, so is Bryce Underwood worth it? Yes. Here's why. Now, I will touch on all your points as to why you are potentially questioning if it's worth it or not. The reason why it is worth it is because Bryce Underwood is the real deal.
Yeah.
You're going to see here with the huddle highlights. Bryce Underwood is the real deal. He would have been the number one player coming out of college or out of high school last year. This kid is the type of kid who will start his freshman year. Okay. Now, granted, is everybody a home run? No. So there is obviously some concern there, right? But at the end of the day, you have to invest in your future. This is without question a very good commodity to invest in. Okay. Mm-hmm. There's a reason why this kid is ranked number one in the nation and why he would have been number one last year. Just like it's not because the scouts are not seeing a quality player here. Secondly, when it comes to spreading the money out, you don't want the money to get too thin. U of M's going 0 to 60 on NIL. Okay. So I do plan after I do the recruiting segment, I kind of want to hit on the donor situation and a couple other things with recruiting, but I'll just lay out a little bit right here. Money is not an issue. Money is not an issue for Michigan right now. In terms of Bryce Underwood, he is his own budget. There is literally a separate group of donors who are willing, and we're going to talk about it. I guess I'll talk about it a little more. I'll just touch on it lightly here. to do what they need to do. And that has absolutely nothing to do with the rest of the recruiting NIL budget. So it is a completely separate situation. I will tell you, and I wanted to kind of save this, but I will just simply say, do not worry about NIL in Michigan. Michigan's a big boy now. Michigan is with the top dogs. Michigan's down to play. Their donors have been given the green light to go, and they are going. They are going. Like, I can't even stress how good it is right now. You guys will find out with results. Obviously, it's all words, but Michigan's a ball player now, man, and they're up there with the big boys too. They're not on previously we were at a top 15 level. Not no more. We are definitely, I mean, it's possible we're top 5 level right now. It's possible we're definitely top 10. I can guarantee you that. The reason why I'm hesitant to say top 5 is because that requires results to confirm. But from what I am aware of, money's not an issue at all. Like, at all.
So
for any of these guys, by the way. And that is why, and John, I know one last thing, and that is why you just saw Babalola land and you are seeing the smoke with Shamari Earls, plus some others, which we will get into.
Well, because Babalola was considering not just academics, but clearly considering NIL offers with Auburn in the mix.
Absolutely. Yeah, no. So that academic recruitment transitioned in July into an NIL recruitment. As much as some people will say, well, academics are, NIL was a big factor once Auburn got involved. And there's a reason why Stanford and Michigan both took a back seat for a minute. And the reason why Michigan took a back seat is simply because they weren't playing up to speed, but now they are. They're very much up to speed. They got everything. They got people where it needs to be. They're very organized. Like, I'm sure some people saw the On3 article. I posted it on my Twitter, but there was a portion from the article from On3 that said Michigan's collective is the healthiest it's been since 2021, or it's the most financially comfortable, whatever it is, paraphrasing. And I said that's an understatement, because to be honest with you, that article did not tell you the reality. The reality is we have bags, and Michigan's not fucking around. They're not. They are so serious right now, and it's not going to stop in just high school recruiting. It's going into the portal too. Just so you guys know, they already have a strategy plan for the portal. Michigan's very serious about this. They've Sean McGee, Jared Wagner, Sharon Moore, and all the donors who are part of that. I mean, shout out, because they're serious as hell right now. There's a reason why
this is a massive change, TJ, from when I started hosting this show. And I was saying, what the hell is happening? We have these other schools, Texas A&M, Miami, just throwing bags around. And now Michigan is coming to play. And so with Bryce, and then I'll let you go here. But with Bryce, it's kind of like one of those things where, like, let me ask everybody in chat. If you had the chance to get another JJ McCarthy, wouldn't you do it?
He's better.
Like, he might be better in terms of raw talent than the maybe arguably the greatest Michigan quarterback that we've ever had.
Yeah, he's better. In terms of skill and talent, he is better than JJ McCarthy. They are projecting Bryce Underwood to be a first overall pick in the NFL draft. That is what they are projecting Bryce Underwood to be. Just so everyone's very clear on how these rankings work. They are projecting him to be the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft when he is ready to announce. That is the type of player we're talking about here. Jared Wagner was at Bryce Underwood's game this Friday. Okay, our head of our NIL, the general manager, not the head of our NIL, but the general manager for the football team was with Bryce Underwood. John, I'll just get into Bryce Underwood right here. I know we got no super chat, so let me just knock it out. So this is what I wanted to say about Bryce. The cat's out the bag. The cat's out the bag. We all see all the articles right now from all the different services. Every insider is now in on it. And now you got people who doubted the Bryce Underwood. I'm not going to name any names, but you have people who doubted the Bryce Underwood situation. Not my teammate. I'm talking about other people. You got people who doubted the Bryce Underwood.
I doubted a little. I'll say it. In the beginning, I doubted a little.
It's all love, dude. It's all love. But you have people who doubted this who are now saying, quote, it's a real possibility. Okay. So if you guys have been with us, right, you guys have been watching our show, our recruiting segment, you guys would know before all this buzz picked up, before the Sam Webb fireworks article, we told you this was in motion. We told you they were applying pressure to the Bryce Underwood situation. The donors were getting their shit together, and they were making a very aggressive attempt to try and get Bryce Underwood in the class. We shared that with you before the buzz, even before the cat ever got out of the bag. So I do take pride in that one. That's a good dub for our show. So here's the reality of the situation and what I can share. We are currently in a bidding war. Okay. But this is not an issue. Like, this is, so what? It doesn't even matter. Okay. There's a reason why Michigan just stole Babalola from Auburn. Okay. There's a reason why Michigan is attempting very aggressively right now. We'll hit on Shamari Earls a little bit more. Stealing Shamari Earls from Georgia. Dude, these are big time players. Michigan is now attempting to steal Bryce Underwood from LSU. These are power players, guys. These guys they've been doing this for like 30, 40 years. Okay. Like, they know how to do this. They know the game. We are currently going to war with these dudes. Michigan is now, I'm not upset at anyone who wants to take a more cautious approach here in terms of, I want to see the results before I fully believe. That's fine. I respect it. But we are currently in a realm with the Oregons, the Bamas, the Georgias, the Tennessees, the Miamis, and the Ohio States in terms of financial capability with NIL. That is where we are. Now, do I anticipate to be a Miami where we are just highest bidder, every single guy? No, I don't, because there is a culture of reality. But what I do anticipate is we're going after the top dudes. We're going after our top guys, and you're seeing that now. The hurdle right now is not NIL for Underwood. The hurdle currently is Michigan has to sell to Bryce Underwood that this is truly home. That's the hurdle. So the family, they do like Michigan. They do like Michigan, and the hometown hero angle does matter. It does matter. And Bryce is very warm to the idea of coming to Michigan, which is why you have seen things, which is why when these reports started trickling out the last week and a half to where it is now, not being shut out, because it's really occurring. Like, things are it's really progressing. Now, people have asked me, what is the percentage that I put it at that he would flip to Michigan? I am currently at 65%. I've been at 65 since last Tuesday. This weekend, honestly, probably should have upped me a little more, but I'm just going to stay at 65 for right now because there is a potential official visit for Bryce Underwood with LSU against the Alabama game. I believe it's November 9th. There is a potential visit there. Now, even if he goes on this visit, it's not something that is a deal breaker. Like, just because he goes doesn't mean it's not, like, Michigan's not progressing, not trending. It's not that. That's not the situation. He is just going to go and pay respects out of his commitment. Potentially, this isn't even confirmed yet fully that he's going to go, but there is a potential that he's going to visit on that visit, and we'll see what comes of it. You know, obviously LSU can do a lot, but just remember this: he's literally 5 minutes from Ann Arbor, guys. And I know there was a lot of, and the last thing I'll hit on it, I think, unless we got some super chats on it, which I will hit, there was some smoke this weekend about visitors, about him visiting. What I can confirm, that from what I know, is he was on campus Saturday. Now, there's some speculation as whether he was or was not at the game. Now, I have had an individual tell me he was. But then when I reached out to another person, I got no answer. So I don't want to, like, confirm, because I don't know. I don't fully know. I do kind of trust the person who told me, but I trust the other guy more, and that's who I get most of my good information from. So I'm going to chill on it a little bit. But here's what I can say, though. He was not with the recruits. He had a special arrangement. Now, you guys can put two and two together where he might be sitting if he has a special arrangement. But yeah, that's the word. That's potentially where he was. And his family was there for the game, though. So one would think if his family was there, he was also there. So, but I do know he was on campus earlier that day. I can confirm that one.
Yeah,
So
there was some question on exactly where he was, where he wasn't. But he was around, apparently.
Because a lot of people are like, "Oh, there's no photos." Well, there's a reason.
Yeah.
Also, there's a reason.
Low key.
Let me also stress this. There's a reason why there's a secretive play here. Okay. There's a reason why it's not so public. It's public as hell now, though. So I don't know how it's going to go, but there's a reason why, like one thing people got to realize is when you're committed to another school, you don't want to be disrespectful. That's kind of what it comes down to. So that, you do it you do it respectfully. That's the attempt from my understanding is they're just trying to be respectful about everything. So we'll see where it goes, man.
So Wolverine casual, we did, I believe TJ's kind of answered this already, but now that NIL is even, what are our chances on BU? I think you said 65% is where you're at.
Yeah, we are at 65, but our NIL is not even. We're kicking LSU's ass right now. LSU's not close to our offer right now. They're not close. They're not close. Now, apparently they're willing to match, but here's some reality. Michigan doesn't care. They're gonna offer more. Whatever LSU, this is for sure, guaranteed, confirmed. Whatever LSU offers, Michigan's going higher. They don't care. Like they really don't care. Like I'm serious about how serious this is in terms of NIL capabilities right now.
Another one on Bryce, and I am moving around on the super chats. We will get to all of them, but we'll try to tackle them through the topics as well. Wolverine casual. If we miss Bryce Underwood, do we alienate Carter Smith?
So no, apparently Carter Smith still wants to be a part of the class. He's not fazed by this. He wants to be a part of the class. He wants to come to Michigan. So no issues there. And word is Brady Hart's just as committed as well. If Brady Hart's actually visiting this weekend, guys, he's going to be visiting for the Oregon game. So apparently both quarterbacks are completely good. They're completely, as it stands, we know things change, but as it stands, everything seems to be okay.
All right. So with Bryce Underwood potentially coming, it seems that Derek Meadows may follow if that were to happen, and that Andrew Marsh and others have been kind of talking to some of these people. So, I guess what is the what is kind of what does that flow like? Derek is considering it because Bryce is considering it, or are they kind of a package?
Yeah, so this is another one, John, where we can take some credit here. We can take a little nice pat on the back because we told you guys last Tuesday, because we did the members hangout Monday, and I told them I was not aware of who this. I know there's a receiver. They're talking to, but I don't know who it is. Tuesday, I told you guys I know who it is now. I got a response, and I know who it is. And I told you guys it's Derek Meadows. And lo and behold, John, Saturday, Sam Webb has Andrew Marsh on his pregame show, and he goes, "So, Andrew, and Andrew's a friend of the show. We were able to do an interview with him. Andrew's been good, and he goes, Andrew, who are you recruiting? And he goes, currently I'm recruiting Bryce Underwood, Shamari Earls because he wants to go against the best in practice." And Derek Meadows. And I was like, boom, baby. I knew it. We freaking knew it. My guy was right again, baby. And Derek Meadows is the receiver that is apparently attached to Bryce Underwood. And he would only come from my understanding, it's a package deal. It's one of those where if Underwood comes to Michigan, he wants to come to Michigan. If Underwood does not come to Michigan, the interest is not as high, which I can respect, a wide receiver of his capabilities, plus you have Andrew Marsh right now doing his best to bring both. He's doing his best to get both of them here. They're really putting in some work right now.
Man, can you imagine? So you get Bryce Underwood, Derek Meadows. Remember that guy named Channing Goodwin is on campus and could also be in that conversation. Obviously, Andrew Marsh, this could become a legitimate offense overnight if they get. And I think that's the reason that Bryce Underwood they're pulling out. They're trying to pull out all the stops to get him.
Yeah, I mean, and here's what's really crazy. We could have 3 freshmen starting. Bryce Underwood starting. They're going to start Derek Meadows, and I think Andrew Marsh has been told they're looking to play him early too. So we will be a very young team, but it'll be a promising, fun team. Now, will there be some bumps if this occurs? If this happens, will there be some bumps and some frustration, of course? But the talent's going to be through the roof, man.
I can't wait.
But to be honest too, look at what we have right now. Like it's, it'd be better than what we're putting out right now.
For
no
sure.
Question. How crazy is that, dude? Think about that. If all three of these dudes were here, even now, it'd be better than what we got.
Absolutely
right now.
Would. They just came straight from the bus, just right over to Ann Arbor.
That's nice.
So we got some flip targets. Obviously, we've been covering the Shamari Earls situation and following it very strongly. And it does sound like that is a lock. So walk us through Shamari and also this linebacker Bradley Gompers.
Gompers, yep. Okay, so Shamari Earls, we all know there's a lot of buzz last week. He loves Michigan. Shamari Earls loves Michigan, but there is a slight before I say slight, let me just clarify. It looks good. Everything's still okay. But there is the reason why it's not it hasn't occurred is because the parents still want to be a little more cautious before they make the final decision. The dad is still on the fence, from my understanding. Okay, so he likes Georgia. Shamari loves Michigan. We have one of those situations occurring right now. But what Shamari does plan to do is he wants to come back to Michigan on an official visit. His visit he just visited this weekend was an unofficial visit, so he wants to come back. I believe he wants to come back in obviously a couple weeks here. So he'll be back in a couple weeks for an official visit, and we'll see if they can close. And I think the mom was not. I'm not 100% positive. But I think the mom was not on this trip. The mom will be on the next trip. If I'm wrong there, then it might be. But I think that is the situation with that one. But we'll see. Everything does look good still, and he does. The great news is this: he likes Michigan, and that's what's really important here. So, and again, this is another one where NIL has brought us back. Now on to Bradley Gompers. This is a recruitment, guys, we really need to put more attention to right now. This is a top 100 linebacker. Everyone's focus is on Owasu Boateng. It really needs to be on Bradley Gompers. Also, let me say this. Also, Bradley Gompers. This kid is a top 100 linebacker who played at the same exact high school as Cole Sullivan. Okay, same exact high school. Currently committed to Duke. This is a kid that I feel very strongly, and he was just visited this weekend, guys. So that's the thing too, is like we just had this big visitor weekend. He was barely even talked about, but we really need to start putting more attention here for Bradley Gompers. A credible athlete. Michigan made an extremely strong move this weekend, and there is some optimism that they are trending in the right direction here with Bradley Gompers. I mean, you just saw him just destroy that dude and then kill the quarterback. You just saw it. He is a monster. Now imagine him and Cole Sullivan. There he goes again. He's a freaking missile. Imagine him and Cole that together and that linebacker core, right?
That's a strong linebacker core.
Yeah, that's nasty. So this is another kid that we really need to put a lot more attention to. Michigan is making a good move here with him. So we'll be on top of this. We'll follow it more. I'm excited about Bradley Gompers, man.
Yeah, he's hard commit to Duke, but so always great to have a 6'5". Obviously a kind of a massive impact he would be on the linebacker core. So Duke has him now, but he's heavily looking at it. Yeah.
This is another one where academics, we're good. NIL, they don't got it. We do. So they don't got what we got. So this isn't basketball, right? Like we're not battling Duke for basketball right now. We're battling Duke for a football player. So the good news is it's trending well. We'll see where it goes.
Absolutely. And obviously we've got some additional updates. We've been following Savion Hyder, the 2026 running back who would be probably the number one running back target in the class for sure, and maybe one of I think the top in that entire class in general. So so where are things standing with him and some of these others that we see here?
Yeah, so Savion Hyder is the number one class in 2026. This is Brady Hart's class. Brady Hart is recruiting him very hard. He also visited this weekend, and by all accounts, Michigan knocked it out of the park. and things are in an extremely good position. Again, so Michigan, I want to stress this, is not just crushing 2025 right now. They are attacking 2026, and I've anyone who has watched our show, I've stressed this. 2026, they were looking to make it even bigger. I just cannot stress that enough. They are completely allocated and ready to go for 2026 in terms of financials. Obviously, there's going to be more rate. And let me just also backpedal. There will obviously be more raising and donor donations and things of that nature. But this is when revenue sharing kicks in. This is when there will be much more cash flow than is already available. Things like that. A lot of players will be going to the draft, which will obviously open up even more cash capacity. So that's where we are with that, because there are donors, respectfully, who are pledged to give an X amount every year. There are donors who there are not all of them. Some of them are one-time donations, but there are donors who are annual givers to the university and the NIL and all that. So great to see. But Savion Hyder is a player we need to be paying close attention to. Now, this recruitment is not close to being finished. Obviously, it's 2026, but I wanted to give a temperature check on where it is right now. And where it is Michigan's currently looking like top dog for this recruitment, which is huge because you got Brady Hart. And if we land Bryce Underwood, Derek Meadows, Andrew, you guys already know the deal. Like, we're talking serious firepower here. Serious firepower. Like best in the nation level firepower. Like nobody is better type firepower. You get the number one running back, number one quarterback, these top wide receivers like this. And if Andrew Olesh, which we'll talk about later, sticks in the class, you get an elite, you land a Babaloa who's considered potentially the best offensive tackle. You know what I mean? Like, we're talking serious, man. It's serious right now, which is good to see. And then we got Benny Patterson, defensive lineman. He's ranked 4-star on some sites, 3 stars on others. Just to put some cherries on tops with this wonderful recruiting segment. He's looking blue. That's looking blue. So be on the lookout for that.
Not bad.
There is optimism that this will be in the not too distant future. Now, I will say the other school who is involved in this recruitment right now, because currently he's committed to Cincinnati. The other school currently involved is USC, but the feel is that he really likes Michigan and it's trending extremely well. And I feel confident in saying I think he's going to be a Wolverine. So our next recruit we're going to talk about here is Quante Gillians. This is looking also like a done deal, boys. This is another Michigan. This is a 3-star defensive lineman. This is the type of player who is very raw but athletic. So, if you watch his highlight tape, I will be honest, it's not as exciting as some other highlight tapes, but what the coaching staff is looking at here is frame, body type, athletic capability, and a ball of clay. He's a ball of clay, and that's really what it is there. And also, please understand this: they're going to be changing the roster sizes from 85 to 105, so they're going to be filling the class with more of these project type players and hoping that in 2 to 3 years or even 4 of their senior year, they turn into diamonds. So, yeah. And Michigan loves developing.
And Quante's been on our radar. I believe this is the second week, and you watch Michigan Wolverines live. You see what's happening, and circle these players if you keep hearing them every week, because it means Michigan is really targeting them strongly.
The only reason I bring any players to this segment is because they are names you need to know.
Yep.
There are names I don't even talk about because it's no point wasting anyone's time,
Absolutely. So TJ, hold
on, John. We got Andrew Olesh and Ivan Taylor.
Yes. So we will, because Spencer's got a hard, so we will get back, I promise, to recruiting we'll do a part 2 in just a little bit here. But we do have Spencer McLaughlin from Locked On Ducks, Locked On College Football. Spencer, so great to have you here. I know you're on a tight timetable, so I appreciate you giving us a few minutes here to talk through the Ducks.
Yeah, man, anytime. I mean, I'm more than a little intrigued to see how Oregon handles this particular game. You can see down there on YouTube they're a pretty sizable favorite, and they have been the last couple weeks, and they've covered no problem. But I don't know. I just like my ears are perked up.
Yeah, 14.5 favorite that Oregon is favored by. And I will say, I think that we would probably, all of us would collectively donate a kidney if you could have a quarterback of Dylan Gabriel's production with 18 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and 2371 passing yards. So I guess
don't forget the 76% completion percentage.
And there's that. That's not too shabby either.
No, not bad, bad.
So
and yet somehow
at this
point, at this point in the season, he is less accurate than Oregon's quarterback from last year. It is wild how that works. But anyway, on this particular game, I think whether Michigan covers that number, keeps it close, is able to push to pull an upset here, comes down to their defense, and really all about their defense. Because I think you guys have seen this year, is that Michigan's offense can play off of the defense, where, you know, so not only does the defense literally just score some points, sometimes as many or more touchdowns than Michigan's offense at times, it feels like, but they also can give them short fields to work with. And I don't think Michigan can afford to have long fields against this Oregon defense. The way they've struggled throwing the football this year, here's a stat for you guys, and I've been repeating it ad nauseum this week because I think it's a testament to what Dan Lanning and defense coordinator Tosh Lupoy have really done this season on that side of the ball. Will Howard, with those receivers, that is the only guy to throw for more than 200 yards in a game this season against Oregon, and they have been incredibly stifling to opposing quarterbacks. And with the way Michigan has struggled to throw the football this year, it is a bad matchup for the Wolverines. And so the reason that I think Michigan's defense is the most important singular unit to decide if this game becomes close is twofold. Number one, can they give their offense short fields? Not just, you know, preventing Oregon from scoring a bunch of points, but can they get them off the field quickly? Can they create an impact in the punt return game to give them a short field? Can they force a turnover to give them an opportunity to put points on the scoreboard? That's number one. And then number two, can they slow down Oregon's offense? Because if you let the Ducks offense create explosive plays, I do not see how Michigan keeps pace. I think the defense has to play its best game of the year. And I don't think the offense has to necessarily play its best game of the year. They just have to find their identity again, which is run the damn ball. Run the ball. Like I feel like at times Michigan's been a little trigger happy with the pass, like against Washington. And I was like, what are you doing? Just you played Penn State last year. You ran it 32 times in a row. Where is that? Yeah. Where is that? I know Sharon Moore's not calling the plays, but at some point, I feel like he's got to come on the headset and say, guys, just run the ball. Run the ball. Third and 4, run the ball.
You've seen him with the sheet every once in a while. I think he might be. Getting in there a little bit, but I would also like to see more creative running, Spencer, because when you have, and we were just talking about this on the show, when you have 2 straight runs up the A gap, okay, maybe you vary. There's a little bit of variance there, but you have Donovan Edwards, who hasn't been effective in that position, in that particular role this year, doing that twice. And then you put a Davis Warren, who's trying to build confidence in a third and long situation. So I guess, from that perspective, Oregon's defense, I would say, has been such improved since Dan Lanning took over the team. And I think that's the Kirby Smart influence. When you work under Kirby Smart, such a defensive mind, it almost feels like Georgia, like a second Georgia. Originally, I was saying baby Georgia. Now it feels like Oregon could go toe to toe with Georgia for real.
Which is, I think, a true statement, and also a testament to how far Dan Lanning has brought the program in the last couple of years. Because if you remember, Dan Lanning's first game as a head coach, does everybody remember what happened in that particular contest? It was 49-3.
Yeah.
It was not pretty. Yeah. And I think that you have seen the offense, perform at a high level for the last couple of years, but the defense has made just significant strides over the last 2 seasons. From 22 to 23, there was a jump, and there has been another jump taken this year. I think it starts with the defensive line, continues in the secondary, and you can get some nice moments from the linebacking unit as well. But it's that defensive line. And I don't know if Jordan Burch is playing this week. He's questionable, and he's been out the last couple of games, and you'd never know. Like, if I just put you, if I locked you in a closet and said you can't watch college football all season, and then I dropped you at the Oregon-Illinois game or the Oregon-Purdue game for that matter, and said, what do you think of Oregon's defense? You'd say, wow, I think their defensive line's really good. I think they got a bunch of guys up there. I mean, Mateo Uyunglele and Derek Harmon are wreaking havoc.
Yes, sir.
You would make 1,000 presumptions about the Oregon defense before you got to, I think they're missing maybe their most impactful defensive lineman, at least statistically. Like, this is a guy who can wreck individual drives on his own, and you can't say that about a lot of players, but I go back and forth. Is it Birch? Is it Derek Harmon? You pick your poison there if you're an opposing offense. But the Oregon defensive line is no joke. I know Michigan's pass protection this year has been up and down. Shall we say? This is not the team to be shaky in pass protection. They will get after you, and they don't need to blitz. They will. From time to time, you'll see Brandon Johnson come off the edge. You'll see Jeffrey Bossa and Devin Jackson blitz from the linebacker spot. They've been effective with those. But Oregon is perfectly content, quite often as they should be, to rush for and say, I dare you to leave either Tatum Tuioti or Mateo Uyunglele one-on-one on the edge, and we'll see if those guys can get pressure.
Yeah. I mean, the way I look at it is with Dylan Gabriel, Jordan James, Tez Johnson. I agree with you. It's one of my keys of the game, which we'll talk about in a little bit here. Oh, I guess we're getting to it now.
Yeah.
So I'll just get to it
right
now.
too. Why not?
All right. So here's my key to the game. I think the Will Johnson and the Tez Johnson battle is going to be an incredibly critical battle in this matchup, because I believe if Will Johnson can do what he should do as a projected top 5 pick, likely top 10, because corners don't go top 5 often, then that will help and benefit Michigan's defense to potentially get to Dylan Gabriel and allow the rest of the defense to focus on the other weapons. The turnover battle is critical. If Michigan has any chance of winning this game, we cannot lose the turnover battle. We must win the turnover battle. It's probably the only way we do win a game against a team of this caliber. And then pressure on Dylan Gabriel. If we do not get pressure on Dylan Gabriel, it's going to be a long-ass day, which then goes to Spencer's point about our defense being the biggest chess match against their offense. That will probably determine the outcome of this game. And then I do have my score prediction, but I'll wait till everyone gives their keys.
So I agree with you wholeheartedly on the last 2 keys that you gave there, that you got to win the turnover battle and you have to pressure Dylan Gabriel. 100%. Those are keys for Michigan. I do not agree on the first one, though I understand why you went there, and here's why. Oregon has routinely this year been willing and able to go to a variety of weapons. Yeah, Tez Johnson is the leading wide receiver. Evan Stewart was the guy against Ohio State. Now, Tez Johnson had a good game as well, caught a long touchdown, but this is not a one-man receiving core. So I'd expand upon your key and say it's not about Will Johnson locking down Evan Stewart or Tez Johnson. Like, even if he does that all game, you have hindered the Oregon passing game. You have not taken it away, because they might have Terrence Ferguson back. Even if they don't, Kenyon Sadiq has been in the fold in a lot of different ways, and he's a tight end who just does everything on the field. They run fly sweeps to Kenyon Sadiq and screen passes. Like, he's just an explosive guy with the ball in his hands. You have Evan Stewart or Tez Johnson who can lead the team in receiving yards. You have Justice Lowe and Trayshawn Holden who have both had explosive plays this season. This is the last 2 years. This is the best run of Oregon wide receivers in my lifetime as a Duck fan. And if Will Johnson takes away one of those guys, Dylan Gabriel is not someone who stares people down, especially the last few weeks. I think he's playing in a really good rhythm in this offense. He is throwing the ball wherever it needs to go and wherever it can go. And that's why I think it'll be incumbent upon the entire Michigan secondary to take away those explosive plays, make Oregon run the ball, which has been the weaker aspect of their offense this year, and make them take those long drives down the field.
Yeah, well, that's the mark of an experienced quarterback. You've seen a lot of examples of Michigan quarterbacks staring down receivers, but they also have maybe 1 game of experience in their career, 2 games of experience.
Gabriel's got a few more than that under his belt.
Yeah, quite a few seasons there, so he knows how to do that. My keys, I'll keep it short. Oregon, I do both teams. Oregon, they need to keep doing what they're doing. plain and simple. If they play their football, given how Michigan has been all year, I think Oregon's gonna win this game. For Michigan to win, they're going to have to disrupt how Oregon does what they do. They're going to need to create interceptions and turnovers. Will Johnson's going to have to come back from injury and play his face off in this game. And he used to be good for at least one turnover a game, basically. If he can get back to that could be a thing. Gabriel is capable of being picked off. And so Will Johnson, I think, would be a factor there, or a Josiah Stewart making an impact in terms of as that goes. The O-line, I think, has made strides, but what we're really going to need to see is Davis Warren being put into positions to succeed, right? Which happened in 2 or 3 drives this past time. And I think it needs to happen on all the drives. Because I think Michigan needs to focus on at least scoring 3 every single time they have the ball.
Yeah,
minimum 3.
I'll leave you guys with this. If Michigan fans want a sliver of real optimism, go watch the first and second quarters, especially, maybe a little bit of the third, but really like the second quarter of Purdue's offense against Oregon. They ran the football. They ran the football, and then they stalled because they couldn't throw the football. And I think Ryan Brown ended the game with under 100 yards passing, or somewhere in that sort of range. But they were able to run the ball. They had success. That's the formula for Michigan. Like you said, like, be willing to take field goals, and just then you have to at that point rely on your defense and their ability to keep Oregon off the scoreboard.
There it is. So Nick is giving his prediction here. Michigan 34, Oregon 24.
I don't know. I'm trying to come up with something quickly. If Michigan scores 30 points on this Oregon defense, I don't know. I'll come up with something. I'll do a show shirtless, or I don't think my bosses would let me do that, but like I'd consider it. But I got to bounce. Good to talk to you guys, and hope you enjoy the game this weekend.
Well, can we get your prediction real quick?
Yeah, I've got Oregon 31-6.
There it is. Oregon 31-6. Check out Spencer on Locked On Ducks. Thanks for coming by.
Yep, anytime. I'll see you guys.
All right. Whirlwind segment there, buddy. But let's talk our predictions before we get through recruiting and super chats here. So Oregon, Michigan, where do you stand here?
So I have it 31-17 Oregon. I think we're going to have a tough game. I'd love to see an upset, though. I hope the boys can do it. I just think Oregon's at a caliber. We're just not there yet. Now, hopefully we can get a good scheme together and the boys play with confidence. It is at home, though. That's a good thing. This is college football. Things happen. So we'll find out. Hopefully they prove me wrong. I like it. They proved me wrong last week. Do it again.
I'm gonna go 28-17 Oregon. Again, I would love, just like last week and the USC week, I would so love to be wrong and for Michigan to pull this out. I know Moose predicted a Michigan victory. Obviously, Nick predicted a Michigan victory. Let us know in chat what you think, who you think. Obviously, I think Moose here is acting as an Oregon fan, because I think he had a Michigan win on Twix. But yeah, 101-2 seemed yeah, it's close to 31. I mean, 31-6 was like, yeah, Oregon's going to come in and just take us to the woodshed. I think Michigan will give it a game. I think Michigan will keep it somewhat respectable. I don't think it's going to be quite that curb stomp. But yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. Close loss, and I will absolutely be thrilled to be wrong.
And let me also just add this. I disagree with this point where he countered me in terms of saying Will Johnson is not. Listen, if Will Johnson shuts down Tez Johnson, it makes it a lot easier on our defense to deal with the rest of those weapons. And I feel if we can knock out their biggest weapon, which he is, it would give Michigan a better opportunity to win that battle. Is what it is, though. We can disagree. Hopefully our boys prove me right on that one, but we'll find out. It's going to be an interesting game. Could be a frustrating game, but hey, as you guys know, we'll be here for the post-game show. and we'll deal with it one way or another.
Hey, listen, we will be here. We will be here, win or lose. We'll be here with booze if we need to be. But Michigan, Oregon favored 14.5. It's going to be 3:30 p.m. Eastern on CBS. Check it out. And we roll with the punches here at the Voice of College Football. Where I feel a little bit like Muhammad Ali, and I'm like rope-a-doping right now. But we want to give our recruiting segment the love it deserves as well. And Wolverine Casual, like, this is the second time we've had a super chat that perfectly introduces. So well done, guys. Wolverine dropped a 2, and he said, also, is Olesh just gone? Should we start looking for a new tight end? Well, TJ's about to talk about Olesh and another Ivan Taylor, who has been looking a little bit.
So the answer is no. Olesh is not gone. Yes, he visited Oregon. And man, after we talk about Ivan Taylor and Olesh, we got to have a talk, guys. We got to have a talk. People got to stop freaking out. People got to just take a breath. But regarding Andrew Olesh, he visited Oregon. Good news. Oregon's projected to land a different tight end. Also, just like the Alabama visit, just like the Oregon visit, it wasn't enough to move the needle. Quite honestly, here's the reality of the Olesh situation. He wants to be at Michigan. His mom wants to be at Michigan. They love Michigan. They love Michigan. The concern for Olesh is simply they have a concern for the potential ruling on the NCAA sign gate situation. We will have the answer to that in November. In my opinion, if there is nothing, which I'm anticipating it not to be much, because trust me, if there was more, then there'd be more concern. Michigan's well aware of what's in that notice of allegations. They've already, they're going to respond in November. I don't think he's leaving because he doesn't want to leave. The only reason why he's doing his due diligence right now and visiting and experiencing other programs is, one, to experience it, because how often does anyone get this type of experience in life to be courted by the top schools in the nation? And then on top of that, you get to go to all these different places and that you've never seen. So, I mean, he's just literally going through the process, guys. I think people are a little too stressed out on this situation. The one school to worry about is not Oregon. It's not Alabama. It's Penn State. Penn State's the one school that we would want to be aware of, or at least have our cautious optimism to, in terms of him staying, is because, one, Olesh is a Pennsylvania kid, and Penn State is making a hard push right now. And I feel if Olesh is not satisfied with the November situation in terms of what comes out with the notice of allegations, I feel Penn State's going to be the area he goes, or the school he would go to. I don't think it's anyone else but Penn State. And like I said, so the tight end that Oregon's actually projected to get is, I got it right here, Vanderplug, about as German as it gets. Vanderplug, tight end, currently committed to Washington, I believe. And he's fairly highly ranked, not to Olesh's level, but he's from California, West Coast boy. That's kind of where we are. Those predictions, by the way, for Vanderplug to Oregon actually just came in 2 days ago. So if that doesn't tell you anything about the reality of the dynamic there, I don't know what to tell you, but people got to stop freaking out on some of these players. Just relax, allow the process to play out. The next player we're going to talk about, John, is Ivan Taylor. This is another one of our players who seem to have a potential wandering eye. It's a Michigan-Alabama battle. He likes Michigan. His mom likes Michigan. His dad this is another one where the dad's on the fence right now. But here's the reality of the situation. He just visited this weekend. Michigan did a really good job with him. Everything went well by all accounts. It's going to be one of those recruitments where we're going to have to see it to the finish line. Alabama's going to keep pushing. And here's the one thing that actually, I'll be honest, it kind of pisses me off, but it is what it is. Guess who's recruiting Ivan Taylor to Alabama?
Keon
Saab, baby. Keon Saab. They have Keon Saab and Ivan Taylor's ear recruiting him to Alabama.
Of course.
It frustrates me because, man, Keon Saab never would have left if the Rod Moore situation occurred just a week earlier, But it is what it is. He just wanted playing time, which is why he went to Alabama. It was not a money thing. It was a playing time thing, which is why he went to Alabama. He's at Alabama playing very well. But currently he's recruiting Ivan Taylor when it's similar to, I'm trying to remember. There was a Florida kid who recruited Aiden Childs to Florida. Can't remember. It was a safety.
Boy,
One of
deep cut.
Yeah. Anyways, but
someone in chat will know.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Every time.
So that's where we are, John. So now that we've got all that out of the way, this is what I just want to share to the community and to everybody, just paying close attention, or you guys are now re-engaged to the recruiting process because things are now heating up. It's fun again. We're in on top prospects. We're not losing every single top guy because we don't have the funds to play the game. This is what I want to just share with everyone. One, the donors are very motivated and aggressive right now for Michigan. There is not one, for example, there was, and some of the people in the chat will know, Moose is going to be very familiar with what I'm going to share because he was in on this. There was somebody today on Twitter there was a question proposed by Mark Ryan, who's a 97-1, the ticket air person. And he goes, is Dave Portnoy the main cause for this Bryce Underwood thing? And I responded to the comment and I said, he is not the main donor here. And then somebody responded to me, and Wolverine Nation let him know the deal. And I also let him know that Portnoy is not the main donor for the Bryce Underwood situation. There is another donor, and there's actually another and other donors who are in on the Bryce Underwood situation. But Dave Portnoy is involved. Dave Portnoy is working on other targets, which is why you are seeing these top level targets from many different
All
positions.
of a sudden, you're hearing top 5 in the country people looking at Michigan.
There are multiple big money donors right now, and Dave Portnoy is not the biggest, and he's aggressive. He's an aggressive donor, and he's not the biggest. Okay. So just kind of allow this to unfold and grow, and you will see. And I do understand why people might be a little hesitant until you see results, but we're seeing it. We're seeing the Balboa commitment. We're seeing the Shamari Earls momentum, and you are now seeing with these other names, and you are now seeing with Bryce Underwood. A lot of people really did not believe the Bryce Underwood situation. And you see where it's trending right now. And then the last thing I want to just hit on is we got to take a deep breath, guys. Things are not going to occur every single day. We are talking about decisions that are as big as figuring out who your significant other is, who you're going to marry, and buying a house. These decisions do not come easily to these families, these kids. We have got to allow it to play out. It's tough, man. And you have everyone courting you and giving you everything, telling you the greatest in the world. It's not an easy process for these kids. We have got to allow it to just, everyone's I got some people freaking out on Andrew Olesh. Just please, take a breath, allow it to play out. These kids do like Michigan. They want to be here, but just like anything, you want to make sure you're making the right choice because it's literally going to be one of the biggest decisions of your life. It's a top 3 decision. And if you want to say naming your kid is actually 3 and this is 4th, whatever. But at the end of the day, it's one of the hardest decisions you're ever going to make. So, just please allow it to play out. And another thing is I don't get updates every single day. These things sometimes, you got to let them play out. I got people, asking me the daily. It's just, the reality is I'm not bothering people every day. That's not happening. That's crazy. Plus the truth is too, these kids' minds change on the daily as well. So it's not even accurate to get a gauge test every single day. So just all I'm saying is just enjoy the ride. Things are going extremely well for Michigan, and let's see what the boys can do.
Yep. And look, sometimes it's actually the easiest decision in the world if you know that they're the one. Right. And so sometimes with these things, it's up to Michigan's recruiting staff to paint that picture. And we'll see who comes and who doesn't, but that's just part of the journey, man. So you got to enjoy the journey, not just the destination.
Exactly, John. And here's an example of that. Brady Hart knows we're the one. Mm-hmm. Right? You have a kid who committed a year early, a year and a half early, ready to build another class. A JJ McCarthy knew you're right. So it's just, you got to allow it to sometimes just develop, and everyone knows at a different time and pace.
So TJ, our community is making it rain And thank you all for being so patient with me here. But we got to start with Nick here. Ryan Day's dildo is shaped like a beard follicle, and Nick also complimented my beard earlier. So Nick, for that, I thank you very much. I take good care of it.
Nick always coming with the one-line hitters, letting Ryan Day know the deal.
Everybody throw that Ryan Day emoji in chat if you want to support this. Thanks, Nick. Wolverine casual with the 2 is the upgrade on NIL a more thing or a U of M thing? Isn't it kind of a both thing?
It is a top to bottom thing. This is more for sure was a major role in this because Harbaugh really was not about this. He just didn't, he's an old school coach who believes in football, God, and family, right? Like I think that's his 3 things. But the reality is Moore understands the climate of college football, and he definitely pushed for this structure, the regions, John, and just again, shout out to us, John, because in late April, early May, we told everybody before everybody else, just like the Underwood little thing, that Michigan's change of approach has occurred. And no one believed us. Everyone was like, no. I was like, yeah.
Now we're talking about $5 million.
Yeah, now we're talking about $5 million quarterbacks, bro. That's where we are now, right? So, again, we brought that to everyone's attention early May or late April, one of the 2. And, the reality is the regions down to President Ono has always been one of the proactive voices in this. Ward Manuel, listen, I'm critical of Ward Manuel. I know a lot of you are critical of Ward Manuel. Ward Manuel is playing ball. Ward Manuel is at these donor functions. He is encouraging donors to support the NIL. He is now becoming public. Listen, we know our position on Ward Manuel, but at the end of the day, you got to give credit where credit's due, and he is stepping up. He's doing a very good job right now. He's doing a very good job. It's a shame it took this long to get here, though. But and then obviously Sharon Moore, Jared Wagner with the Collective Champion Circle. You have Sean McGee, the general manager, who is a big-time player. He's making moves, man. And then you got Sharon Moore and the rest of the coaching staff putting in work. It is a top-to-bottom effort. Everybody, and we told you guys in May, everybody is looking and rowing in the same direction, and you are seeing the fruits of that now. Yep.
Absolutely. Alicia's back with the 5. Appreciate you every show. Random, but we forgot to congratulate the boys for covering the spread for the first time this year. Congratulations to the Michigan Wolverines, and by the way, rivalry win, keeping the Bunyan Trophy in Ann Arbor. All good stuff, but yes, covering the spread as well.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great victory. The ending of that game was typical rivalry bullshit to me. Sparty tried to run with it like typical, and the Big Ten told him what the deal was today. And more crying from little brother. Little brother will do that though. They'll pick the fight, and then they'll cry to mom and dad.
Hey, little bro doing little bro things. Isn't that what Colston said?
Yep, little bro doing little bro things, bro. It's so true too, dude. It's so true.
These are, as people know, these are my favorite ones. When somebody just drops a couple of bucks, and it's like a drop the mic situation. Texas Wolverine with the 2 and a YouTube member on top of that. Here's an interesting programming recommendation from Nick here. If U of M beats Ohio, can you go live from a strip club?
I might have to. To do it.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I'll tell you what. I mean, it'd be big enough to be worth it. It'd be big enough. I don't know how YouTube would handle it.
We're gonna do some crazy. Okay. We'll do something.
There's a bunch of bullshit on YouTube. I should be allowed to do it.
Yeah, while we don't want to get demonetized, I'm sure we can come up with we could do some head shaving. We could do some. We could do some body paint. We could do all kinds of things. So
I'd rather be at the strip club, John.
Yeah, we could. I mean, that would be great. But We'll see what Uncle YouTube has to say about that.
Listen, there's a super chat coming. I don't think we read where someone's watching this with their family. So let's just rewind. There we go. My bad. Not strip club.
Yes.
Never mind. I'm going to Outback Steakhouse. That's what I mean. Outback Steakhouse.
We're just backing up, B. Beta Blue Wolverine is the man. Thank you for being so patient with the super chat. But you got. I explained to Blue what was kind of going on a little behind the scenes. I gave him a little behind the scenes look at the production of the episode today. So he got it. But yeah, shout out to Blue. Shout out to Blue's wife and son Micah. Love hearing that we're on the big screen somewhere. That's always a good time.
Yeah. Yeah. Nick's a bad person. I'm gonna say Nick's a bad person.
Oh boy. Nick again, but this time, can we get a money cannon super sticker now? Hey.
Oh, we should get a money cannon emoji.
Yeah.
We should change the Smash one to a money cannon or something. Or like
that sounds good.
A stack of money, or we'll figure it out.
Stack of money. Yeah, maybe that's it.
Bags. Michigan's dropping back. Oh, we could. All right, I got some ideas. We'll come up with something.
Texas Wolverine. This time putting some text in there too. Dropped just some money earlier. Now got some text with some more money. Brian Kelly has a heavy flow and a wide set vagina. Nice fake Southern accent, bro. Stay home, Bryce. OC is about to leave too. I think sometimes people just like to hear me read these out. And anchorman voice. But yeah, his fake Southern accent. He really did cultivate that. He just got so ingrained in the culture. In the 12 hours from when he left Notre Dame and told them all that he was leaving at like 5 a.m. to when they had that basketball game.
Yeah, no, these super chats are wild. Forgive me, Micah, or Blue Wolverine's wife. Forgive me. Forgive us.
Yes.
I'm
sorry. And scumbag Steve, who's not quite a scumbag. Good guy, Steve. Certified ball knower, Steve, with the 5 there. Joe Sloan maybe leaving LSU for ECU certainly plays a part too, doesn't it? Not to mention that it's an open secret that Brian Kelly wants out of LSU, as we reported that Brian Kelly's agent was trying to get him to Michigan.
He was trying to go to Michigan last year. We had that in February, John. Yes, Brian Kelly's agent was putting out feelers to go to Michigan. That was true. In terms of Sloan, he apparently there's other targets though that they're looking at. We'll see on that. If that were to occur, it is a game changer. It would matter. It would end it. It'd be game over if it happened. But there is word that they're also looking at other candidates. We'll see.
Remez is back. Sorry we didn't get to your call on Saturday. We tried to I try to bang through those as quick as I can, but you know what? Super chats come first. And now, Remez, you got a super chat, so we're putting you right on air with the 5 here. Underwood, don't local kids want to be neighbors, friends, family, state hero? Is that not a factor at all when NIL is comparable? So just asking, hey, like, does he want to be a favorite son? And is that something that will overtake, if NIL is close? Of course, we are reporting that Michigan is actually outbidding LSU, but then does favorite son play a role too?
Yeah, local hero matters. It does matter. I mean, it's something that is it is appealing. It is appealing.
Absolutely. Beats and treats with the 2. If we get these commits, we need to change staffs.
Certain coaches are already being evaluated. Kirk Campbell's one, by the way. Kirk Campbell's one. And I'm not just saying that. That's not like me. That's not TJ's. That's not me. I'll just say there's certain coaches being evaluated. They know. Listen, I'm telling the boy. Listen, Michigan knows the deal. I was told this 2 weeks ago. Sharon Moore understands the mission. I brought that to you guys like 2 weeks ago.
There you have it. Yeah, I mean, keep it at Michigan at the Voice of College Football for your intel. And then if you want even more intel, become a member. Because when we do our hangout every month, we say things that we can't say, to 300 people, right? Because there are certain things with the recruiting process that you can't say publicly. So, so to definitely become a member and do that. And you know who just did that is Craig Stark. So Craig Stark, thank you so much for becoming a member here at the Michigan channel, the Voice of College Football. I'm looking up what tier you're at now because, StreamYard. Okay, it is Leaders and Best. So Leaders and Best tier. So Craig, thank you for becoming a Leaders and Best member here at Michigan at the Voice of College Football. Really appreciate that. If you hit refresh, you're going to get some emojis. Some special emojis that you can use, and you'll have a badge. So refresh and then enjoy all your emojis. And thank you for becoming a Leaders and Best tier member. Jerufus, speaking of memberships, Jerufus is now re-upped and is now 2 months membership. If Michigan runs the table and finishes 9-3, are we in the playoffs?
Yeah. Because you're beating Ohio State and Oregon and Indiana.
Strength of schedule would be ridiculous.
You'll make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So you're saying there's a chance.
I do believe you. Yes, we would have to run the table. But if Michigan were to run the table, that means Michigan defeats a top 1 in the country Oregon team and probably a top at that point, 5 or higher in the country Ohio State team and a top 10 in the country Indiana team.
Yeah, serious. That's serious.
That's serious. That would be playoff worthy.
That would get you in.
Yeah. And we would all need horseshoes somewhere to make that happen. But hey, crazier things in sports have happened. Elisha throwing a 10 burger out there. Elisha, he is predicting Michigan 27-20. And Tyler Morris having a legacy game, 2 catches, 12 yards. That's a legacy game. Look out. Hey, this season, absolutely. But serious, if we want to win, then we need to mix Orgy also in the passing game. Keep Oregon's defense guessing and not give up on the run. Elisha, I will say one thing. There is one passing concept that worked almost every time they tried it with Orgy, which was that play action touchdown pass to Donovan Edwards the one time, and then I think Samaj another time. But every time they did that, it worked. And so I could see like a 3rd down situation where it's like 1st and goal or 2nd and goal. Like just sprinkle that in and give it a shot because it's worked almost every time that they've tried it with Alex Orgy passing the football in that situation, it worked.
Yeah, I thought they did actually an excellent job of supplementing both quarterbacks last game. They did a really good job with it. Not one time was it inappropriate or killed momentum, which was nice because you couldn't say that earlier in the year.
There you go. And thank you for the 10, Elisha. Detective Loki has gifted a membership. So congratulations. Looks like Blue is the gifted member.
At least it's not red.
Yeah, that would be rough. Yeah. No red. Or scarlet. No thanks. But congratulations to Blue on your 30 free days of Those Who Stay Will Be Champions membership. I hope you enjoy that. Hit the refresh and enjoy some emojis. Elisha with the 5. I say that because OSU was running quite well on Oregon, but typical Ryan Day, they went away from it. Henderson was gashing them, and then they stopped. Well, Chip Kelly allegedly is running the offense now, and I do believe he is. So,
yeah. I mean, we'll find out if we can duplicate the success running against Oregon. And one thing I wanted to say to our guest was we don't have the same offensive line we did against Penn State. Like, we can't just run it 32 times. Khalil Mullins is good. He's not Corum. It's a little different dynamic.
Yeah. And you know what? Even though it's Chip Kelly's offense, it's also third base Ryan Day. Fuck that guy. It's his fault too. So throw that crying Ryan. I love the crying Ryan emoji. That's a fun one.
Oh shit! Shout out to Adam here, man.
Adam,
he's right.
Is a U.S. Okay, let's just focus on this for a second. Adam is a USC and a Rutgers fan, and he is dropping $20 on the Michigan show.
Dude. Yeah.
I mean,
well,
that's beautiful.
He's about to get his flowers, so it's worth the purchase.
$20 here. When I rode first class on the Warren train, it was scenic and peaceful. My friends took a flight on the Orgy Tuttle airline, and the turbulence was horrible. Yes. Adam, congratulations. Yes. You called it right.
Dude, Adam is officially the leader of the Davis Warren hype train. There's no doubt about it. He was on this from whenever we sat him week 3, and he said we shouldn't do that. We got to stick with Davis Warren. He's the better quarterback. He's right. I mean, at the end of the day, it did turn out that way. I will say, and I mentioned this earlier, I think it was beneficial for him to reflect and kind of observe and get his game together. But at the end of the day, the better quarterback does appear to be Davis Warren, and let's hope he continues to be very careful with the football. And as long as he's careful with the football and takes takes full care of it, we should be in an okay position with him at the quarterback.
Adam, thanks for the 20. You can catch Adam on Rutgers Scarlet Knights live at the Voice of College Football each and every week, giving his analysis on the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. So tell everybody that we now have that channel up and running. And yeah, you got it right, man. I was Team Orgy. I was Team Orgy before the season. I was Team Orgy when Davis Warren was throwing 3 picks.
Me too.
And I said, you know what? I'm Team Orgy again, and I will remain Team Orgy. But for whatever reason, the coaching staff is just allergic to him throwing the football. There were a couple of opportunities, and yes, he missed some stuff, but I think they also were allergic to really putting him in more passing situations, whereas with Davis Warren, they seem more open to it. They seem like, they're able to scheme some situations where Davis Warren's able to get some completions. They may not be world beating, but it's enough where the defense has to respect the pass. The defense was not respecting the pass when Alex Orgy was under center. It's that simple. And that's what you're seeing.
Yeah.
Wolverine non-casual, because Wolverine is another certified ball knower here with another $5. How many recruits are we targeting for the class, and what determines that number? Right now, we have few recruits relative to some other schools.
Yeah, so typically the number, so this is going to change now because it's the roster size is going from 85 to 105. Typically a class is about 25, anywhere from like 22 to 27. I don't know. With Michigan's newfound money, I have no idea what this could be. It could be a 30-person class for all I know. I will say I'm positive it'll probably reach 25 or more. So be on the lookout for that. The way things are trending, I'd say more than 25. So it's hard to tell. It's also, you got to make sure you keep everyone in your class. We'll see where it ends up, but we'll definitely have it covered all the way.
Absolutely. Loki is sharing Lions 38, Packers 21.
Oh, he's letting Burks know the deal, man.
Okay.
Burks is going to take a hard L this weekend.
Coming at Burks there.
All in Thursday. Let's talk some Lions Packers.
Absolutely, you should. I would enjoy that.
Oh, that'd be a good time.
Wolverine casual regarding Olesh. Have there been any leaks on the NOA front? Are people on the inside expecting bowl bans, vacated wins? Why no mediated resolution?
Dude, Wolverine casual does have good questions.
Yeah,
not really. Not to disregard anyone else's day, but Wolverine casual really does come with the heat. Okay. Has there been any leaks on? No. Well, the only thing I can that I am aware of is Michigan feels comfortable with the notice of, like, they're not concerned. It's not a concern. They're not worried about it. It's not something that they feel is going to be detrimental to the program or be anything to the level that the rivals want it to be. So that this is not the university is not panicking by any means. No, we are not expecting bowl bans or vacated wins are not happening. I can assure you that bowl
I don't
bans.
think so either.
I do not feel are happening. Why no mediated resolution? Well, you want to take the full 90. You want to play the game. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the full 90 days. Michigan's going to respond, and then the NCAA has 30 days to respond to that. And that's how the game is played. So they're just allowing the situation to take its course because if the NCAA decides to not accept Michigan's response to the notice of allegations, then we're going to have a situation on our hands that will take years to resolve. And Michigan is, again, if you think the donors are motivated for recruiting, word is they are really motivated to make sure nothing aggressive happens to the university. Anything beyond the realms of reason is what Michigan stands by right now with the notice of allegations.
Yeah, I don't see bowl bans. I don't see vacated wins. I just don't see it. I think that if that were attempted, that there would be a fight. And I do see, like I've said a couple of times, I see them issuing a comically large, ridiculous punishment to Jim Harbaugh. Like, I think they're going to go, you are banned from college football forever type dramatic punishment, because he's never coming back to college. So if they do that, it looks like they did something drastic, but really they did nothing. And so from a political perspective, that's their perfect scenario.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a public perception bullshit situation. And so that was going to, we got him. Shut up. You get shit. You're going to be destroyed in like 3 years. Shut up.
Nick has issued a compromise situation for the Ohio State go live from Hooters. So here's what I'd like to say. Hooters, if you're watching, consider a sponsorship of Michigan football, the voice of college football. Let us know if you'd like to sponsor the show. And then for the Ohio State game, if we win, we will go live from Hooters.
Let's extend that to Twin Peaks as well. Whoever wants to have Michigan at the voice of college football for the post-game show, Hooters or Twin Peaks, let us know. We would love to be there for the post-game show. And if we win, we're celebrating. We're going to go wild. If we lose, we're drinking our asses off, and we're going to still have a good time either way. Either way, we're going to have a good time.
Absolutely, we are. Ramez, hey, I became a member. Yeah, you got your badge, and I just put you in the ticker as well. So congrats on that, Ramez.
Let me also add, John, if anybody is a member and you don't see your name in the banner, let us know. We will correct that. Your name should be in the banner, and if it's not there, apologies.
Yep. I did update it last week, but there have been some updates since last week.
And guys, it is tough to keep track sometimes because names sometimes come off, names come on. Like, so we do our best with it. But if we don't have it accurate, let us know.
Let us know. And then Go Blue with a very good question. How do you become a member? Well, Go Blue, you may have seen it, but we will post it again. There's a very quick and easy link where you can become a member. So I've just posted it again for you, Go Blue. And what you're going to do is click that link and then look at all 3 tiers that we have to offer and see which one might be the best fit for you. Is it Leaders and Best tier at $2.99, where you get the emojis and you support us in that way? Is it Those Who Stay Will Be Champions tier at $4.99 a month, where you get access to our monthly members only stream that we do with special intel and insight that you don't get on the main shows? Or do you go big or go home with the Connor Stallions Espionage tier at $9.99? It's up to you, Go Blue. Pick your favorite. The link is there, and we really do appreciate you asking that question.
Yeah, and another way to become a member is if you look at the chat, there's a $sign in the bottom right corner. You can click the $sign. You can click on memberships and then join. is a very easy way to also access memberships.
Boom. So there you go. And it does look like, yeah. So we'll yeah. So so Ramez, am I still not showing up as a new member? So you are showing up. You have your badge, and now you're in the ticker as well. Thank you
You're
so
one of
much.
us.
You are one of us.
Yeah, one of us.
Wolverine Nation.
Thank you for joining, Ramez.
Yeah. And this is a magical one. And the reason this is a magical one,
yeah.
I love when Detective Loki gives these and is our channel's Oprah, but this is a special one because Detective Loki just gifted a Voice of College Football Michigan membership. Those who stay will be champions membership to none other than Maze Madman, who many of you know from that show. And I'll just give I'm upset for that exciting news. And Maze Madman then threw a 5 our way. So became a member and passed it forward, which we really appreciate. Thanks to Detective Loki, I'm a member. Woohoo! #GoBlue.
Also, let me add, John, November 4th on Monday, I will be joining Maze Madman on his show. We will be talking ball and all things Michigan. So stay tuned to that.
Can't wait. That'll be fun to watch. This is one coming at you, TJ, from Texas Wolverine. So Texas throwing the 10 burger. Hey, TJ, you seem pretty confident in the post-game show. When can we expect the fireworks to start? I can't live like this. Let's go. I'll send you a bottle now.
Deep breaths, my friend. Deep breaths. Fireworks have actually already started. Babaloa was your first one. There's more on the way. There is many more on the way. It'll be multiple fireworks with the plan is this. Multiple fireworks, boom, 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 and then a grand finale is what the anticipation and the plan is, which is why the fireworks analogy has been used. So stay tuned. Just have a little patience. Signing day is December. I'm not saying that that's when the grand finale will be. I'm simply saying you have this amount of time to be on the edge of your seat, I suppose. But the only thing I will say, my friend Texas, and your dog, shout out to your dog wearing the Eeyore costume, is just a little patience, a little breath, but just know that it's like, if anything I can stress to you guys is this: feel confident Michigan's getting it together. The money's in the right place. And if they happen to swing and miss, if they happen to, guess what? There's going to be more players on the horizon. Portal, they're going to go after. If they have this kind of money available for certain players, it's not going anywhere. It's going to be, it's gone. It's not gone. The money, the cash flow is good right now. So let the boys work. We'll find out. I do anticipate a couple small fireworks soon.
Absolutely.
Like real soon.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for that.
Yeah, stay tuned. Watch this space. If you've been following our recruiting segments, you'll know you should have an idea of what might be happening. And if you're on our membership only streams, you have even more of an idea of what's going on. So
if you watch today's recruiting segment, you should kind of know who I'm talking about.
There it is. So Detective Loki just gifted 2 more memberships, and there's one that went to a Michigan fan, I believe, and one that went to one of those other fans from Ohio. But you know what? That's okay.
We like our Ohio friends sometimes.
You know, so two gifted memberships, and I'll tell you where they went. They went to SWAT. So congratulations to SWAT, and also to Buckeyes Battle Cry. So Buckeyes Battle Cry and SWAT, congratulations on your 30 free days of Those Who Stay Will Be Champions membership and emojis. And I'm sure Buckeyes Battle Cry will enjoy the emojis like the last 3 victories against Ohio State and the third base Ryan Day emoji.
You might like our Connor Stallions emoji. I think it's a good emoji. I like it. Absolutely.
It's a fun one. Elisha with the 2. John, if Michigan wins, you have to hit the Dougie. Which one? So if Michigan beats Oregon, or if Michigan beats Ohio, or got to clarify so I know when to do that. Bro, the Loki with the 2, bro. Half these gifts go to Buckeye fans. Well, you know what, Loki? That's because they're lurking. They're watching.
They love us. It's okay. Hey, they can watch. I'm not mad. Deep down, they like us.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the reality, folks, is when you see these go to Buckeyes, it's because they are active in some way. They're either they're chatting, they're involved, and also they've checked accept gifts. So they accept membership gifts. So there you go. That's why if Buckeyes are getting gifts, it's because they're engaged with the Michigan content. So they're they're enjoying the content too. So there you go. Wolverine casual. Haven't heard of. Oh, this is a good one. Haven't heard about Owosso Boateng in a while. Yeah, that's true. It has been a couple of weeks. How's that going?
Well, it's because he's going through the process of visiting all the other schools. I wouldn't say we're out of the Owosso Boateng thing. I would just simply say the linebacker to pay attention to right now is Bradley Gompers. Owosso Boateng, the thing about Owosso Boateng is he really is going to visit everybody before he makes a decision. So it's just kind of what it is right now. We'll see if we can get him back on campus. Absolutely. I do know he's going to be visiting Notre Dame again soon. I think at the end of the month of November. I think the end of November, I think. So that's going to be a big one to watch.
So with all that said, we do have a couple of quick, a bunch of reminders because I jumped through a lot of stuff there in a short period of time. So a couple of things that I missed. So we do have the Disputed National Champions book that Mark Rogers, voice of college football, has written. It's on Amazon right now. Get yourself a copy. Go by the fireplace and read yourself some analysis of the disputed national champions from 1990 through 97, and you'll be very interested to hear what Mark Rogers, voice of college football, has to say about the Michigan-Nebraska 97 situation. So check that out. And, of course, our Twix account at the Voice of College Football, shortening VOCFB. Check that out because there's all kinds of good stuff. And the last couple of months, TJ and Jackson Johnson and our boy Justin and some others have been in the lab, really building this thing to where I would consider it, a legitimate brand Twitter account where it's not just it's literally like graphics and not promotions, yes, but also you get the schedule on there, and you'll get some rankings and some other things. So keep tabs on the Voice of College Football Network Twix account, and we're building that thing up, and more coming every single day from there.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you guys can please follow our Voice of College Football Network Twitter, that'd be great because we are building and growing it. And just like the channel, and anyone who's followed us for a long time knows this, where we are is not where we are heading. That Twitter page will continue to grow and evolve. Like this channel will continue to grow and evolve. We have some very exciting things on we're within the next year there's going to be a lot of good, exciting things rolling out within the network, within the channel, all that. So just stay tuned. We got it. We're going to keep growing, keep building, keep climbing.
Detective Loki with the 5, one Ohio fan told me Michigan is only the most hated team in Ohio from Monday through Saturday. He said on Sunday, it's the Browns. Yeah, fuck those guys.
Well, they got a nice victory with Jameis Winston against Baltimore. But, yeah, I mean, it would suck to be a Browns fan. Those jerseys are ugly as hell, too, man. What is with Ohio and ugly-ass jerseys, bro?
I don't know. That's
they really, Ohio really has ugly-ass jerseys, bro.
Hey, you know what? I'm a Baker fan. They did my boy Baker dirty. So
look at Baker now.
Yeah. Now he's he might be going back to the playoffs, but we'll see. Those receivers got injured. We'll see what happens. But
I know, dude. I got Chris Godwin on my fantasy team.
Oof. Yeah.
I was gonna win my league, bro. I would have won I got Nico Collins on IR right now. I would have won that league, bro. Pissing me off.
A reminder, Baker Mayfield, of course, originated the planting the flag on Ohio. So that was very enjoyable to watch back then. and that started my fandom. I very much enjoyed planting the Oklahoma flag in Columbus. Wolverine Casual with the 5. How good? Here we go. Really want to get TJ's thoughts on this. How good? And I'll give mine after as well. How good are the 4 different scouting sites relative to one another? For example, I see Rivals frequently as very different from On3 and 247.
Good question again. Okay, so they all have their issues. They all have their issues. And to be honest, I'm not a big fan of how they rank these kids, because they rank them for NFL potential, not college potential, which I think is flawed, but whatever, it is what it is. The way I would rank them is this. I'd put 247 number 1, On3 number 2, Rivals number 3. That's how I'd rank it. But I have issues with all of them, by the way. They frustrate me sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes it doesn't make sense. Like one of the things they do that's completely bullshit is if a kid decides to stop doing camps because he wants to just focus on his team or training in the off season because he's already committed to a school and he doesn't like Brady Prescorn, for example, they'll drop the kid in the rankings. Like, what are we doing? Just because he's not at camps? I mean, like, his film will prove to you like how good he is. Like, whatever. It is what it is. Like, there's other things like Jordan Marshall, one Gatorade Player of the Year in Ohio, still dropped in the rankings, even though his speed improved to a 10.75 in the 100 meter. One Gatorade Player of the Year ranking still dropped. Makes no sense.
Yeah. So I think that I would have had a different answer earlier this year. Wilt Fong obviously was at 247. But he's over at On3 now, which in my opinion bumps that up. I already like some of the On3 content. I'm on that board and all of that stuff. If get into debates sometimes with people who think they know what they're talking about, and then we have a nice little back and forth there.
But they have no idea.
Yeah. But I also think that some of the individuals at some of these are better than others, and vice versa too, right? So it's hard to kind of look at it, but I would say I like On3. I think 247's good for the actual like data. When you actually look at you go on to 247, you're looking at the snapshot of this recruit or that recruit. Love that. So I think that there are pieces of each, and I think that if we're going to be good, really analyze this stuff, we look at all of them.
Yeah. Really, it's about finding the people you like.
Right.
What scouts you trust and all that, what people you trust in terms of like predictions and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So Craig, you just, so thank you for becoming a Leaders and Best member. I will add you to the ticker. Just give me a second here. We are officially out. Yeah, we're out of space basically. So I'm having to do a couple of, there we go. Craig Stark. Boom. There it is. You will see yourself momentarily here. Thank you for being patient.
Yeah, and then to our Michigan and Browns fans, apologies. I'm just calling it like it is. I mean, really, what you guys need to do more with your jersey, in my opinion, like the helmet, like put a damn dog on there, man. Like if you guys put a badass like brown dog on there, like I've seen some concepts, man. It could be a sweet uniform. It's just bland, and the colors are just, you got to make it work, man. I think the brown and white can work, but you gotta, I don't know. It's But I appreciate you being here. Michigan, go blue.
Absolutely.
And shout out to you, weathering the Ohio fans. If you're in Ohio as a Michigan fan, shout out to you.
Yes, for sure. We have another super chat here from Nick. Nick's been putting out the certified bangers. So he does this thing, for those of you who are new to the channel, he does this thing where he goes $1.99 and he's just taking shots. And a lot of times it's aimed at third base Ryan Day, which is always very enjoyable. And especially when he does it on the main channel and then Mark has to read them. That's always a great time. But we appreciate all the contributions here too, man. Thoughts on the first super chat? Way above. So we hit all of the super chats. So I don't recall which one that was because I've been unstarring as I go because otherwise
Yeah, I've noticed. I
I
don't
go
see
too
him
crazy. But yeah, so let us know what that
The one with
was.
the beard and the dildo.
Was that the beard?
Which, by the way,
That
Nick's a bad person.
yeah, so there you go. So yeah, we'll if you rewind the tape to probably, I don't know, 8:20 or whatever your first super chat was, we covered it for a sec at least. We always cover all the super chats, but Nick, we appreciate you for being here. And so with that said, TJ, another great show, but we are not done. We have content for you through the rest of this week, including Thursday. We've got the call-in show coming up with I believe we've got the Oregon cross promo going potentially. So walk us through the Thursday and what's happening on that might be on deck for Thursday.
So Thursday we have the call-in show 8 p.m. We will be there. I know it's Halloween night, but we'll be here. We'll be talking balls. So if you guys want a distraction from the kids or whatever, or you don't feel like answering your door, although you should, give candy to the kids, although it's, maybe not the best, healthiest choice. But anyways, neither here nor there. Exploring with Ben from our Oregon channel at the Voice of College Football might be there. I mean, he's allergic to texting, so he may or may not. We'll find out. It'd be a surprise for me as well because it's not confirmed at the moment, but that's the plan. Also, Burks, I'm serious. Call in Thursday. We're talking Lions Packers, bro. It's game time, son.
There we go.
And then anyone wants to follow me, you can find me at TJ_Ronin. And of course, we'll be here for the post game. We'll be here Tuesday. You guys want to follow me on Twitter? Do it, man. We're having a good time on there. A lot of conversation. I drop little nuggets from time to time if I get them, because we do our shows Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Things happen. And if things happen, I'll throw little fun gifts out there. We can play along, and sometimes I'll respond if I can, or I should. If I don't respond, it's not because I don't want to. It's just sometimes I can't. But yeah, follow me on Twitter. Good time. Enjoy chatting with everybody. It's actually become a lot of fun the last few weeks.
Yeah, check it out. So call-in show Thursday, and then obviously Saturday, win or lose. We will be on standing in the paint, maybe for 4, 5, 6, 7 hours. Who the hell knows? But we'll be here taking your super chats and your calls through the entirety, and I'm sure we'll have a lot to cover no matter what.
Dude, one day someone's gonna drop 500 on our ass and be like, "Sit here. You're not leaving. You're not leaving."
Hey, we'll take it, man.
We're doing it.
Happy to.
You're right.
Coming up next on the Voice of College Football Network, got USC Trojans Live with Mark Rogers and Matt Zemek. So check that out in a couple of minutes, and we'll all support that. And yeah, and any final thoughts on your end, TJ? Yes, please. Let's all follow TJ_Ronin if we haven't already.
Final thoughts is we cannot miss Moose's super chat after my final thoughts, but yeah, Burks better call me Thursday. I'm serious about that. That's my final thoughts. And then secondly, hey boys, listen, the season is not. Listen, we just got to grind through this season. There is a lot of light at the end of the tunnel right now. A lot of light. Now let's see if the boys can land it. And again, I don't want anyone to be like crushed about it, whatever the result is. Although I'm gonna tell you, I feel optimistic and good about a lot of it. But do not be crushed, because the reality is the portal is going to be upon us. And I feel extremely confident that they're going to handle business. So just bear with it, grind through the rest of this year. Let's see what the boys can do. All is not lost. Just, let's keep going, keep grinding.
And Moose sneaking one in here. Always appreciate you, Moose, with the 5 and all your contributions, both those that people see and those that people don't see behind the scenes. All that you do for our channel and Voice of College Football Network. With the 5 here, TJ and John, you remember when I said a while back when Michigan got its NIL game together, it was going to be a wrap? We're seeing its full potential now. Yeah.
Yeah, no, me and Moose have had a lot of discussion about the current or the state of Michigan NIL all year. And Moose has voiced a lot of frustration of not being good enough, just being top 15. You know, he's been wanting us to get to where we are now. And we're here, bud. We're fucking here. And it's looking, I mean, look, dude, we are, as I've said earlier in the show, we're stealing dudes from Auburn. We're about to yank a dude from Georgia. We're on the verge of yanking potentially 2 from LSU. These are big time players, and we're not playing around. So I mean, yeah, it's looking very, and potentially we're about to yank one from Duke. Yeah, it's looking good, man. Duke isn't, you know, they're more of a basketball power, but still, at the end of the day, you're getting these kids to come here. This would not, if this was 2023, this is not happening. This is not happening. We would end up with a 17th, 19th, 20th ranked recruiting class like it's been the last 2 years. Not no more. Michigan's going to change how that goes.
Yeah, I love this. I love every bit of it. That Michigan is playing ball. Because Michigan should play ball. Michigan has such an extensive alumni base, alumni network, resource-rich environment. One of the most popular brands in all of sports, not just all of football, all of sports. And so to not have a top-tier NIL, I was like, what the hell are we doing? But now it's better to come late to the party than not at all. Michigan is here, and Michigan is firing the money cannons. Allegedly $5 million just for a quarterback. So they're playing. They are here to play, and it's great. I'm here for it.
Yeah, and someone said earlier, does YouTube take 40%? It's 30%. We're going to be working on a Venmo to get to avoid that unfortunate tax. So we'll see. But I was also thinking, like, in terms of the NIL thing we were trying to do, we may have to take a different approach because I don't want YouTube getting 30% of anyone's donations. So we'll figure that out too.
Yeah,
we want that to go to the football team. Obviously, that's the whole point. 100% of profits or 100% of revenue will go to the football team for the episode we do. We may do too. But there's a lot of things we got to work out to make sure we get a green light for it too. We got to make sure we can do it. Cause I'll be honest, I may have spoken before we were allowed. We haven't been green lighted yet. So we got to make sure it's okay legally and all of that.
Yep.
And then if it is okay legally, then now the next hurdle is getting past the YouTube tax. So we'll figure it out. We'll work on that. We got like 2 months or 3 months to do it. So.
And one more thing, Demish fan, I love this. So this is a rare non-YouTube member, non-super chat comment, but we gotta show it because he's given us love. Man, I love this show, best Michigan show, and I hope this show continues for future seasons. Well, you're in luck, Demish fan. Yeah. We don't plan to go anywhere. We're building this thing onward and upward.
We're just getting started, man. We are just getting started. There's zero intention to leave. Also, like, for those who may not know, I'm not just invested into the channel. I'm invested into the network. I have a role within the network where we're growing it and expanding it. I plan on only, to be quite honest with you, I plan on turning this thing into a fucking monster. So we're going to keep working and grinding on it. It has a lot of potential and a lot of good things are occurring at the moment.
Accurate. And so with that said, thank you, Demish fan. Thank you to everybody who hit the like button, who super chatted, who did anything, because it means a lot to all of us. My name's John Diadamo, and I was your host today. You can follow me on Twix at John Diadamo, where you can find commentary on college football. Sometimes I throw some NFL in there. Sometimes I talk about the events industry. Sometimes I talk about other things. You can go ahead and hit that anytime you want. And we are going to leave you today with a message from Mark Rogers, voice of college football, on the Voice of College Football bets tier that you guys can take advantage of.
And shout out to next
time, go Blue.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Shout out to everyone giving us love, man. Appreciate all you guys in the comments. You're all crushing it right now. I see it. We appreciate it. We're going to keep working and making this show great. Okay. And you guys make it great too. You guys are a big part of this show. We're not doing this without you. So thank you all.
Thanks everybody so much. And we'll see you next time.
College football is even more exciting with some action on the line. And the games are even better when you're cashing in. And the Voice of College Football is the place to be to get the greatest value. Let's start with my picks. 75% against the money line, 58% against the spread. I've got a 40-year track record. In fact, in 2023, at $100 played per game, you would have netted over $9,300. And guess what? I'm just the warm-up act. Steve Merrill, our ace in the hole, show stopper from Wager Talk. 6 years with the Voice of College Football, over 30 years in the industry. Steve gives us analysis on all the big games, but you can't miss Steve's weekly under-the-radar pick, which went 21-5 against the spread the last 2 seasons. I repeat, 21-5 against the spread. You also get picks from some of our top analysts here at the Voice of College Football, including Steve Dace and Matt Zemek. Become a YouTube channel member or Patreon member for just $99 per month. Go to the main channel on YouTube, click join, and select the betting tier. Do the same thing on Patreon. Make 2024 a winner now.